So buying a house on an unincorporated land or outside the city limits is pretty much the same thing, right? You don't have a city that is covering you in the area that you've purchased, which to some people can mean freedom. But one of the things that I wanted to tell everybody about are the cons that come along with that. Now, the biggest reason that a lot of people choose that option is because they feel like they're going to save some money. And that is true. There are some money saved because you don't have city taxes. And I calculated on a $350,000 house that can save about $200 a month, which is a great savings. But it does not come without cost, and so that's what I wanted to lay out. And I made a list of pros versus cons so you can see both. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about the cons of buying outside of city limits so that you know what that looks like. And I actually live in an area that's outside of city limits. And so I do experience the savings, but I also experience the costs. And so I'm saying all of this with some experience behind me for sure. Okay, so number one, a lot of cities comes with coverage to cover trash, water, sewer, right? And while we do pay for those when we live in the city, when you're living outside the city, you're having to pay much more than if you lived in the city. I hope that makes sense. So when the cities are getting their costs for their trash or providing their own trash service pickup, or they're doing costs that is almost like buying your toilet paper at Costco versus buying your toilet paper at a convenience store. And when you live outside of city limits, you're having to do each one of these individually. Have your trash service and hire them, have your water and hire them, have your sewer or your septic coverage and hire them. And so those costs can definitely be higher because you're not a huge city coming and getting your pricing. You're just an individual coming and getting your pricing. The second thing is you don't have a large police department. You don't have a large fire department. And like the police that we have is our county police. Those are the police that we have if we have an issue, right? And however long that takes them to get here is however long that takes them to get here. And same thing with fire. Now, the big thing to note on fire is that your insurance coverage on your house really, really affects how much you're going to be affected by how far your fire department is. So the closer that a fire department is to your home, the cheaper your homeowner's insurance is in case there were a fire, right? Well, the same thing goes if the fire department is a volunteer fire department. If you don't know if your fire department's a volunteer fire department, you should definitely look it up. But if it is, your homeowner's insurance is higher. So that's already another cost that is higher, is your homeowner's insurance, your cost of water, your cost of sewer, all of those different costs, right? Then to add on top of it is cost for emergency services. Now, if you live outside of a city, then it's cool that you only have to pay for emergency services if you use them, right? But if you do have to use them, there could be a higher cost to them because if they're having to come to you further, or if they have to go down a dirt road or whatever, your cost that you're going to get in your bill is going to be higher than if you just lived in a city. Less road maintenance happens. Electricity is monopolized. I only have one option for my electricity, and that's it. My internet's monopolized. I have one option, and that's it. So I don't get to shop around like most people where they have like 10 different electric company options. Mine's just one, and that's it. So I know I'm paying higher monthly. I have to drive further when it comes to going to work, when it comes to getting my gas, when it comes to if I just want to go to McDonald's or get a pizza or whatever. Those drives are much further. And I'm not talking about further like by like a minute. I'm talking about further by like it takes me 15 to 20 minutes to get those things. And so when you're thinking about the conveniences and the electricity and all of that, you do want to make sure that your reasoning for buying outside of city limits isn't just about cost, because I could lay out for you a ton of reasons why the cost doesn't make sense versus the cost of what the city tax cost is. Another con is that the zoning in an unincorporated area can change at the drop of a heartbeat. And that can be frustrating because you don't have a municipal governing it and having all their rules and regulations to get through changing zoning. So for instance, I could buy all kinds of land for my home, and at the drop of a heartbeat, because the right person goes and asks for this, they could have the back of my property zoned for industrial. Well, I didn't buy my property thinking that I was going to have an industrial situation behind my home. And so those zoning things can be a big deal to people. And so that's another con that happens. So just wanted to share with you those thoughts. The next video I do will be about the pros. I hope that helps. Bye.